Good morning, everyone. My name is Miss Takis. I am Miss Goodall student teacher this year. So you guys will see me helping out in small groups, if you're in advisory with us, or even just teaching some lessons here and there. And I'm super excited to get to know you guys. So we just got back from fall break. I would like everyone to say one thing that you guys did over fall break. All right, great. So we're going to get right into it today. We're going with vertical angles and corresponding angles. Now, I know you guys have seen the paper format before, but when a slide has the notebook paper background, you should be writing the notes on the page. So for your first notes, I want you guys to you're going to put the title. We have vertical angles and corresponding angles. And then write your 3 definition titles. I have them listed here. I'm not going to give you all the definitions right now, but we will come back to this. So leave space to write your definitions. And then we will come back, so that way you guys know we will be coming back up to the top of the page. You should be taking notes today because we will have a flip grid over your notes. So write down good notes. They will help you. They're not just because we're trying to help you guys. So make sure you're writing notes. You'll have a flip grid to do over the notes. And let's get right into it. So first definition, vertical angles. Vertical angles are angles directly across from one another when 2 lines intersect. Let's look at the first one word in here. We're going to look at intersect. These 2 lines intersect right here. This is called our point of intersection. Your point of intersection is where 2 lines intersect. So at this point of intersection, we're going to look at these 2 angles directly across from each other. These are your vertical angles. Something about vertical angles, they are the same. They are congruent. What did we say congruent means? Congruent means that they are the same. So the angles directly across from each other, 45 degrees, they are congruent. At this point of intersection, there is also another pair of vertical angles. It is the angles with the hearts in them. They are also congruent, and they are equal to 135 degrees. Now, going back to last week, you guys talked about supplementary angles. If I add 135 degrees and 45 degrees, what do they add up to? They add up to 180 degrees, which means those angles on this line that make this straight line right here, they are supplementary. All right. Back up to the top of your notes page. We're going to the second definition here, transversal. A transversal is a line that intersects 2 or more lines at different points. That definition is kind of tricky. Let's look at it. So that's your transversal. A transversal touches 2 or more lines at different points. When we talk about transversals this week, this is what you're going to see, this exact picture. You will have 2 parallel lines and a transversal that intersects both of them. So what do we call these points right here? These points are points of intersection. And so this transversal intersects 2 different lines, but the parallel lines never touch, but the transversal touches both parallel lines. So again, here are your 2 parallel lines, and they are both touching the transversal. Guys, back to your definitions. Bring up your notes page. You should have been writing notes down here, and you have your 3 definitions. You have vertical angles written, you have the definition for transversal, and now we're going to do our last definition, which is corresponding angles. So bring up the top of that page and get ready to write this definition. 2 angles on the same side of the transversal in corresponding positions and are congruent. Let's look at what that means. So I have these 2 angles right here. These 2 angles are corresponding angles, and let's talk about why. First, they are on the same side of the transversal. So which side of the transversal are they on, the left or the right? They are on the left side of the transversal. So we know that in that aspect, they are the same. They're on the same side of the transversal. There's one more thing. Now, let's look at where they are in this picture. So what do we call these points where the transversal meets the parallel lines? They're the point of intersection. So at each point of intersection, you kind of see 4 different squares here, right? You have upper left, you have lower left, lower right, and upper right. Which corner are the stars in? The stars are in the upper left square for this. So we know that they're both on the left side. And then from there, you can take it one step further and talk about which corner of each point of intersection do these angles fall on. Let's try one more time. Okay, we have our heart. Which side of the transversal are these hearts on? They're on the left side again. So now talking about each point of intersection and what corner they are in, are these angles in, which corner are they in? They are in the lower left corner. So that is what makes them corresponding angles. They're in the exact same spot at each point of intersection. Let's do a couple more. So let's look at your green diamond here. Your green diamond is on which side of the transversal? It is on the right. Now, which corner is this on? It is in the upper right corner of this point of intersection. Let's do the same thing again with our yellow circle. Your yellow circle is on which side of the transversal? It is on the right side of the transversal. And which corner is it in? It is in the lower right corner. So we just talked about the position and why the green diamonds and the yellow circles are corresponding angles. The biggest things you guys need to know when identifying corresponding angles is, 1, are they on the same side of the transversal? Remember, we highlighted that transversal, we said is it on the left or right. Once you do that, is it in the same spot at the point of intersection? So remember, we talked about you have 2 points of intersection. Here's our top one and then this one. And we use those 4 corners, kind of like Foursquare. Is it in the upper left corner? Is it in the lower left corner, lower right corner, or upper right corner? And that will help you identify, is it in the same spot at each point of intersection? Let's kind of talk about supplementary angles again though. So this green diamond right here with my cursor and this yellow circle with my cursor, what is 150 plus 30? It's 180. So that means that these 2 angles are supplementary. And if you have this straight line, they are 180, and that forms our straight line there. Hey guys, talking about supplementary angles going on, we just identified that these 2 angles at the first point of intersection are supplementary. Look down here, same thing's happening again. Each point of intersection has its own pair of supplementary angles here, because 30 plus 150 still equals 180. Okay, let's wrap things up. Big things to remember. You have your notes. You should have your 3 definitions, and then the notes from each slide that I have written with the notebook paper background. All right, make sure you guys have your notes, and then you guys can turn in your Flipgrid, and you guys are good for the notes section of this. All right, thank you guys. Have a good day.